Today, we are learning how to solve equations when there are variables on both sides of the equal sign. How do I solve equations is my essential question. I am learning to solve equation is a learning intention. Pause the video. You have 4 warm-up questions. Can you solve those 4 warm-up questions on your own? If we're looking at the first one, I hope you're just checking your answers now. If we're looking at the first one, I've taken v, I've added 9, and then divided by 3. What was the last thing I did? Divide by 3. How do I undo that? Multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. That cancels out. V plus 9 is equal to 24. 8 times 3 is 24. To finish solving, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. V is equal to 24 minus 9. If it was 10, it would be 14, but it's 1 less, so that makes this 15. For the next one, I've taken v, I have divided by 4, and then I have added 2. What was the last thing I did? Add 2. How do I undo adding 2? By subtracting 2. Negative 4 is equal to v divided by 4. I have divided by 4. How do I undo? You multiply by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 times negative 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and that is equal to v. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. When we substitute it in, we do have the right answer. Okay, 15 plus 9 is 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Okay, for the next one, hopefully you knew how to do those. If you didn't, pause the video now and see if you can do the last 2 on your own. Pause it now. So all you're doing is checking your answer. Okay, let's look at this one. I've taken x, I divide by 3, then I subtract 7. What was the last thing I did? I subtracted 7. How do I undo that? By adding 7. V divided by 3 is equal to 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. I divided by 3. The opposite is multiply by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels out. V is equal to 27. Okay, substitute it in. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. For the last one, I've taken 2, I multiply by a, and then I subtract 3. What was the last thing I did? Subtract 3. What do I undo? Add 3. 15 is equal to, or 18, sorry about that. 15 plus 3. 18 is equal to 2a. I've multiplied by 2. The opposite is to divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 is equal to a. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus 3 is 15. And we have the right answer. Now we've been working on solving variables. solving for the equations for a variable. But what happens if we've got variables on both sides? Well, the first thing you need to do is to determine, first you've got to combine like terms on both sides. So make sure that all the numbers on both sides are added together, all the variables, etc. Then we determine which variable is the smaller. We want to move that smallest variable to the other side, because then we will be working with a positive coefficient and it'll make it easier. So we move it to the other side by subtracting or adding, whichever. Then move all the numbers to the side that the variable is not on, and then you solve. What does this look like? Start by putting your equal sign and draw your line in your second line to keep all your columns straight. I've got a 5A, I've got a 3A. Which is smaller? 5A or 4A? I've got a 5A, I've got a 4A. Which is smaller? 4A is. So I will subtract 4A from both sides. I now have -3 plus A is equal to -10. My last step is to add 3 to both sides. A is equal to -10 plus 3, they're opposite, so I find their difference. 10 minus 3 is 7. The 10 is larger, so this is -7. Think about what it looks like on the number line. We're at -10, we're coming 3 up towards 0, that means we're at -7. For the next one, do we have both sides simplified? No. I have -8 or -7 minus 8 more. So I've got to combine those like terms. The -2k will not change. Is equal to k. -7 minus 8 more is -15. K minus 15. Now in this case, we're not going to move the smaller number over because the smaller number would be -2k. The reason why is because it will take an extra step. So to this time we will move the k over. Subtract k from both sides. And I have -3k is equal to -15. The last step is to divide by -3. And k is equal to 5. Have we checked our answers? No, we have not. So let's check those answers. Okay, I'm going to substitute -7 in for A. -3 plus 5 times -7. Is it equal to 4 times -7 minus 10? -3 plus 5 times 7 is -35. 5 times -7 is -35. Is it equal to 4 times -7 is -28 minus 10 more. -3 plus -35 is -38, and it is equal to -38, and we have done it correctly. Let's check the other one. We're going to substitute 5 in for k, so -2 times 5, is that equal to k, or 5 minus 15? Is negative 10 equal to negative 10? Yep, we've checked and it is correct. Okay, step 1, make sure your like terms are combined on both sides. Are they combined? Yes. Step 2, identify the smaller variable. I've got 3n, I've got negative 5n, which is smaller? Negative 5n. So I will add 5n to both sides. Negative 16 plus 8n is equal to negative 8. Get my numbers to the same side. The opposite of negative 16 is positive 16, so I'm adding 16 to both sides. 8n is equal to negative 8 plus 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Divide by 8 on both sides. N is equal to 1. So if I'm going to check this, negative 16 plus 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 16 plus 3 is negative 13. 5 times 1 is negative 5. Negative 8 minus 5 more is negative 13. So it is correct. Okay, looking at the next one. Pause the video if you think you can do it on your own. But if not, we'll do it together. Draw the line. Which is smaller, negative 1x or negative 4x? Negative 4x, so I'm going to add 4x to both sides. Negative x plus 4x is positive 3x, is equal to 16. So 1 plus 3x is equal to 16. Move the 1 to the other side. Three x is equal to 15. Last step, divide by 3. And x is equal to 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 16 minus 4 times 5 is 20. 16 minus 20 is negative 4. They are both negative 4s, and we are correct. Now the next one you're going to do on your own. So pause that video. See if you can combine your like terms. See if you can do this on your own. Well, I do hope you tried. I've got 6p plus 1p. And then I've got 2, positive 2, minus 3. So as we do this, 6p plus 1p is 7p. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So 7p minus 1 is equal to 8p minus 8. First step, which one's smaller, 7p or 8p? 7p is. Subtract 7p from both sides. Negative 1 is equal to 8p minus 7p is 1p minus 8. Last step, Add 8 to both sides. And P is equal to 7. 8 plus -1 is 7. That's equal to P. So 7 times 7 is 49, minus 1 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 56 minus 8 is 48. So we know we have done it correctly. Now, we're getting into the distributive property. We've looked at it, we've worked with it. What does it look like? What happens if we've got it in our equation? Well, we still have to distribute. I've got -7 minus 2x, that doesn't change, equals x times 7, 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 8 is 56. 7x is 7x plus 56. Now what do I do? Well, which would be smaller? -2x or +7x? -2x. So I want to add 2x to both sides. -7 is equal to 7x plus 2x is 9x plus 56. I've got to get my numbers to the same side, so I will subtract 56 from both sides. -7 minus 56 more. -63 is equal to 9x. Divide by 9. Okay, and -7 is equal to x. Once more, I want to check my answers. So I'm going to start with the first one. -2, or -7 minus 2 times -7. -7 plus 14 is equal to 7. Let's see what I get on the other side. 7 times -1 plus 8 is equal to 7. Oh, this is -7 plus 8. 7 times 1, which is also 7. So I know I've got the correct answer. Finally, we have the last one. We cannot simplify anything here, so we're going to multiply everything by 4. (40 minus x) will not change. 4 times -3 is -12. 4 times -6x is -24x plus 6. Are both sides simplified? No. I've got my numbers that I can add together. I've got -12 and I've got +6. So as I look at this, 40 minus x does not change. Is equal to -12 plus 6. Find their difference. It's 6. Keep this negative sign. -6 minus 24x. Which one is smaller? -1x or -24x? I'd say -24x too. So I'll add 24x to both sides. (40) 24 minus 1, 23x. 40 plus 23x. By adding 24x to both sides, I end up with a positive coefficient, which is easier to work with. And that is equal to -7. Now what do I do? Subtract 40 from both sides. I've got 23x is equal to -46. They're both negative, so I add them together. Last step, divided both sides by 23. And x is equal to -2. So if I want to check this, I would take 40 minus -2, and I would get 42. I would take 4 times -3 minus 6 times -2 plus 6. 4. This will be -3 plus 12. 4 times 9 plus 6. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 plus 6 is 42. I've checked it out and it works. So take a minute and look at this before you write your summary. Do you have any questions? Can you back the video up and watch it again if you do? How do you know when you're successful? You know you're successful when you can solve any equations. So this is solving variables on both sides. And with distribution. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. If not, we'll keep practicing.